guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are choosing my April TBR. I almost said May there. April. We're choosing our April TBR. The month of March went pretty well reading wise. Like I feel like I read a lot, but I didn't actually get much off of my March TBR. Let me show you. So here we have the books that were on my March TBR, as well as like another couple, I think. I got like 140 pages into The Other Passenger. I still want to keep reading this, although I'm having like a difficult time with it. I didn't start Death of a Diplomat, but I do want to read this, so I'm going to put this in my April TBR. I started Redeeming Six by Chloe Walsh, but I realised I wasn't really in the mood for that, so I put it down, and I'm going to put it down for this month because I don't think I'm going to read it in the month of April. And we also have The Life List by Laurie Nelson Spielman. This is a book that my mum actually gave me to read, and I do want to read this, so I'm going to put this on my April TBR. And then we have Anne of Green Gables. I don't know if I'm going to read this in April. I might just put it down along with Redeeming Six. So those are my thoughts. That is roughly the gist of what's going on this month. So now we're going to take a look at the books on my physical TBR in general, and we're going to pick what books I fancy reading in the month of April.
I just launched a book across the room. I don't know if I got that on camera.
Okay, so I think this is a pretty good angle. So we have here Redeeming Six and Anne of Green Gables. I'm going to put that down just there, and we're going to go through my books and decide what I'm in the mood for. So already on our April TBR we have these three books which I just showed you. So I think I'm gonna pick another 3, maybe 4. It's honestly very rare that I actually get to read all the books for my TBR, my monthly TBR. So I'm just picking so that I have a variety to choose from. Anyway, let's get to it. So at the top we have Dickens, Flora Thompson Still Guides the Stream. This actually looks really interesting, and I love this cover. I'm actually really interested in reading this. This seems like something that I could really like. This is a book that would be worth reading for its descriptions alone. Flora Thompson was born in 1876 at Juniper Hill, a hamlet on the Oxfordshire-Northamptonshire border, which she described in her well-loved and best-selling
autobiographical trilogy.
Lark Rise to Candleford. What is this? No, that's all about the author. I'm not interested in that. I want like an actual description of the book. Okay, so this doesn't give a description of the book, it just tells you about the author. Okay, well that's helpful. I'm going to put this on my TBR to start with because that is something that it just intrigues me. Like, this cover looks so pretty, and I'm really interested in what it's like. I don't know, maybe this book might be like a biography type of book. Still Guides the Stream by Flora Thompson. It sounds beautiful actually. Okay, so I just read the first section, the first little couple sentences. It says, the Oxfordshire village of Rest Harrow has changed a little in the outward appearance during the last 50 years. 3 of the old cottages have disappeared, and to replace these, half a dozen of new pink-roofed bungalows have been built. So starting off, this seems like quite a nice descriptive book. So yeah, I'm going to add that onto my TBR. George Eliot Middlemarch is jumping out at me, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to be in the mood for reading a classic this month. Honestly, I don't actually have that much on my TBR looking at my books. Let me count how many I've got now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
So including these 2 books, I've got 30 books exactly on my TBR. So I could probably do with buying some more books at some point. Anyway, what else have we got? We have Earthsea, which I do want to do some annotating this month. So I'm thinking I'll pick back up Earthsea, so I'll put that on my TBR. What else do we have? We have Count of Monte Cristo, but that's way too big. Like, I don't think that's going to be something that I will want to pick up. I'm tempted by Anne of Green Gables, but that seems like a similar type of style to the book that we just picked up, Still Guides the Stream. So let's keep looking. I am interested in reading Troubled Blood by Robert Galbraith. That does seem really interesting. I could read like a couple short stories from World's Greatest Short Stories. Gosh, I really don't know. Like, I'm feeling kind of indifferent towards all of these books. We've got Star Trek. Star Trek is pretty awesome. I could maybe read Star Trek, but I don't really think I'm in the mood for that. Love and Laughter by Lily and Harry is jumping out at me, because this is like, how long is this book? Yeah, it's like 350 pages. So I think that would probably be a good book to pick up. It's 1945 and the war is finally over. At last the inhabitants of Plymouth and Portsmouth are free of the threat of invasion and the fear of the dreaded telegram. Now they can start rebuilding not only their homes and cities, but their own disrupted lives. Yet nothing is so simple. Lucy has survived the bombing and is running a guest house and bringing up her family. But when her husband drives home from a Japanese POW camp, she rarely recognises the happy-go-lucky sailor who went to war in 1939. What will become of David, who stood by Lucy throughout the war and now faces a life of loneliness? Lily and Harry's wonderful characters captivate from the first page, taking the reader back to a time when the world was just awakening from the nightmare of war, a time of hardship but also courage and of laughter. Oh, that's cute. It's got like a little tea picnic section going on down there. That's cute. It's really cute. So yeah, I think I might pick this up because that seems like something that I think I'll probably really enjoy that. Now, what else do we have? We've got some other options. How many books have we got on now? I think we've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 6 books on my TBR for now. Do I pick another one or do I leave it at that? That is the question. I think I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm quite happy with the books that we have going on here. So yeah, let's wrap things up and we'll talk about the books that I have picked. These are the books on my April TBR. So to start with, we've got Love of Laughter by Lily and Harry. I just spoke about this book. It sounds very interesting. It's not a very long book, so I think it shouldn't take me too long to get through this book. So really excited to read this. And of course we have Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. I have had this book on my TBR for the longest time, and when it comes to reading this book, it's slow and steady wins the race. I'm taking my time reading this book because there's so much going on in this story and I'm annotating it at the same time. So it does take me a little bit longer to read the book as I'm going through it, but I'm still absolutely loving reading this book. It's amazing and I'm excited to pick it back up. Now we have Still Guides the Stream by Flora Thompson. I have no idea what this book is about. It might be an autobiography because that seems to be what it's alluding to on the back page, but the back page reads more about the author rather than the story itself. So I'm guessing it's like an autobiography type situation, but it sounds really good. Like, I'm really interested in picking this up. Like, I think I might pick this up sooner rather than later. And now we have The Life List by Laurie Nelson Spielman. This is a book that my mum recommended me and it sounds really interesting. On the back it says, things to do when I grow up. 1, have a baby. 2, fall in love. 3, perform live on a superstar stage. Brett Bowling seems to have it all: a plum job, a beautiful home, and an irresistible handsome boyfriend. That is until her beloved mother passes away, leaving behind a will of one big stipulation. In order to receive her inheritance,
Brett must first complete the
list of life goals she'd written when she was 14. And as Brett As Bet reluctantly embarks on a perplexing journey in search of her adolescent dreams, one thing becomes clear: sometimes life's sweetest gifts can be found in the most unexpected places. My mum spoke really highly of this book, so I'm really interested in picking this up. If you haven't, I've never heard of this author before, but it sounds really good. Like, for example, I really enjoyed Watermelon by Marianne Keyes. If you've been here since that video, then wow, you're a real one and I love you. If you've been here since I've read Watermelon by Marianne Keyes, I'm feeling like this book might actually pick up the same kind of vibes, so I'm really interested in reading this. And now we have Death of a Diplomat by Eliza Reid. I have read the back of this book before. The stakes at dinner couldn't be higher. Representatives of the Canadian Embassy are visiting a remote Icelandic island, and the great and the good have gathered to welcome them, but beneath the glamour, tensions are bubbling. And then it goes on to say about how this
Deputy Canadian Ambassador.
Oh, thank you, Billy, for knocking my camera. This Canadian ambassador is poisoned at dinner, so we're following what happens then after that and who's responsible. And finally, we have The Other Passenger by Louise Candlish. I am up to page 160 of this book, and I'm feeling multiple things about this. I could be enjoying it more, I will say that, because I find the characters not very... they're not very likable. Like, I don't like the characters, and I wish I liked them more. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I want to find out what happens to Kit, why he goes missing, and who the other passenger is. But so far, we're not actually following along the plot of actually who the other passenger might be, which is something that I would find really interesting to find out. But nevertheless, it's going okay. Like, it's not a terrible book by any means, it's just not grabbing me as much as I hoped it would. Those are the books on my April TBR. Very excited and happy with what I've picked, because I feel like I should be able to get through these relatively quickly. But I have never finished a complete monthly TBR on this channel, so we'll just see what happens. Hopefully things will pick up and I will read more this month than I've read in the month of March. Although I did read quite a lot in March. Like, I read like 2 or 3 audiobooks, I think it was, and 2 physical copies. So I think I read like 5 books in March, which is pretty good for me. So anyway, that's that. Thank you for watching this video. I love you so much. If you've made it this far, please leave a spring bouquet emoji, because we are now in spring and it is feeling lovely and the temperature is slowly picking up here in the UK, and it's just all in all, the weather's giving. It's really lovely. So thank you for watching this. I love you millions. If you ever need to talk or anything, you can find me on Instagram or on TikTok. I'm always here for you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to give this book a thumbs up, because that really helps me out. I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.